In the bustling town of Animetropolis, where cherry blossoms danced in the air and neon signs adorned every street corner, lived the vivacious anime catgirl, Nico-chan. Her vibrant pink hair and sparkling green eyes were matched only by her boundless energy. But the real star of her show was her talking pet black cat, Whiskerpuff. The day began as any other, with Nico-chan enthusiastically waking up to the sound of Whiskerpuff's cynical commentary. "Another day, another opportunity for you to make a mess of things," Whiskerpuff remarked, stretching his sleek black body as he yawned. Nico-chan, undeterred by his morning grumpiness, grinned from ear to ear. "Oh, Mr. Grumpy Whiskers, you know you love my messes. They keep life interesting." Their apartment, adorned with posters of anime characters in dynamic poses, bore witness to their daily shenanigans. Nico-chan, in her anime-themed pajamas, would attempt to strike dramatic poses, much to Whiskerpuff's amusement. "You call that a dramatic pose? Even a potato could do better," Whiskerpuff deadpanned, his tail flicking in mock disappointment. Nico-chan stuck her tongue out at him. "You're just jealous because I've got the style and flair that you lack, Mr. Sourpuss." As the day unfolded, they embarked on a series of misadventures. Nico-chan's attempts at cooking were always met with sarcastic remarks from Whiskerpuff. "Is this a new form of culinary torture, or did you genuinely think this would taste good?" he quipped as Nico-chan presented a dish that looked more like abstract art than food. Undeterred, Nico-chan declared, "It's called avant-garde cuisine, Mr. Whiskers. You wouldn't understand." Their banter reached new heights when they ventured into the heart of Animetropolis. Nico-chan, ever the optimist, tried to cheer up a gloomy shopkeeper with a lively dance, only to knock over a display of merchandise in the process. "Smooth moves, Nico disaster. I'm sure that's exactly what the town needed, more chaos," Whiskerpuff remarked, rolling his eyes. But amidst the chaos, there were moments of genuine connection. When Nico-chan stumbled upon a kitten stuck in a tree, Whiskerpuff, despite his nonchalant demeanor, encouraged her to rescue the furry friend. "Even I have a soft spot for kittens. Just don't tell anyone, it'll ruin my reputation," he whispered as Nico-chan carefully climbed the tree. As they helped the kitten down, Nico-chan looked at Whiskerpuff with a teasing grin. "Soft spot, huh? I knew you were a big softy deep down." Whiskerpuff simply flicked his tail dismissively. "Don't get used to it. I've got an image to maintain." As the day unfolded, Animetropolis fell under a mysterious gloom. The once vibrant town now felt like a grayscale version of itself. Nico-chan, determined to bring back the laughter, attempted her usual antics, but even her flashy poses and energetic dances couldn't break the spell. Sensing the gravity of the situation, Whiskerpuff set aside his usual sarcasm and offered a rare piece of advice. "Maybe it's time to try something different, Nico-chan. Not everything can be solved with a dramatic pose or a flashy grin." Intrigued, Nico-chan agreed, and together they set out on a new adventure. They encountered quirky characters and solved riddles, each moment bringing them closer to breaking the gloom spell. During their journey, Nico-chan and Whiskerpuff faced challenges that tested the strength of their friendship. As they ventured deeper into the heart of Animetropolis, they encountered a mysterious riddle that seemed to be the key to breaking the gloom spell. The riddle led them to an ancient library hidden in the heart of the town, a place where forgotten stories and magical books gathered dust. Nico-chan, ever the enthusiast, couldn't resist the temptation to explore every nook and cranny. Ah, the scent of old books and forgotten tales. It's like a treasure trove of knowledge. Nico-chan exclaimed, her eyes sparkling as she pulled out a dusty tome. Whiskerpuff, unimpressed, flicked his tail. "Knowledge won't save the town if you can't solve the riddle, Nico-brain." As they delved into the riddles and puzzles, Nico-chan's playful nature clashed with Whiskerpuff's pragmatic approach. Yet, in the midst of their banter, they uncovered a shared love for unraveling mysteries, and their teamwork gradually improved. One day, as they deciphered a particularly tricky riddle, Nico-chan paused, a thoughtful expression on her face. You know, Mr. Whiskers, maybe your practicality and my whimsy aren't so different after all. We balance each other out. Whiskerpuff raised an eyebrow but chose not to argue. Instead, he gave a nonchalant shrug. I suppose even a broken clock is right twice a day. Their journey led them to a magical garden hidden behind a waterfall, where they encountered a wise old owl who guarded the town's ancient secrets. The owl, sensing the growth in Nico-chan and Whiskerpuff's dynamic, bestowed upon them a pair of enchanted amulets. These amulets will amplify the bond between you two. Only by understanding each other's strengths and weaknesses can you break the gloom spell, the owl intoned. Nico-chan, wide-eyed, clutched her amulet with enthusiasm. A magical friendship amulet? This is so anime-tastic. Whiskerpuff, less impressed, examined his amulet with a skeptical gaze. Let's hope it comes with a manual. I don't do well with vague magical advice. Armed with their newfound amulets, Nico-chan and Whiskerpuff faced the final challenge, a daunting labyrinth filled with illusions and reflections. The air crackled with tension as they navigated through the maze, their amulets glowing with each step. Amidst the challenges, Whiskerpuff found himself caught in an illusion that mirrored his deepest fears. The labyrinth taunted him with visions of being alone, unappreciated, and forgotten. Nico-chan, sensing his distress, rushed to his side. Mr. Whiskers, you're not alone. You're an integral part of this journey, and Animetropolis needs you, Nico-chan reassured him, placing a paw on his shoulder. Whiskerpuff, usually quick with a sarcastic comeback, was momentarily speechless. He nodded appreciatively, his amulet glowing brighter in response. As they approached the heart of the labyrinth, a massive door stood before them. The enchanted amulets pulsed with energy, and together, Nico-chan and Whiskerpuff recited the solution to the final riddle. The door creaked open, revealing a burst of colorful light that spread throughout Animetropolis. The gloom spell was broken, and the town erupted into cheers. The once dull colors now shone vibrantly, and laughter echoed through the streets. As Nico-chan and Whiskerpuff basked in the adoration of the townsfolk, they shared a knowing glance. Their journey had not only saved Animetropolis but had also deepened their friendship. In the days that followed, Nico-chan and Whiskerpuff continued their misadventures, but with a newfound understanding and appreciation for each other's strengths. Whiskerpuff's sarcastic remarks took on a gentler tone, and Nico-chan's antics became more thoughtful. One evening, as they watched the sunset from their apartment window, Nico-chan turned to Whiskerpuff with a smile. We make a pretty great team, don't we, Mr. Whiskers? Whiskerpuff, leaning into the rare moment of sentimentality, replied, I suppose even I can't deny that. Just don't let it get to your head, Nico Brain. And so, in the heart of Animetropolis, the anime catgirl and her talking pet black cat continued their lively banter, but with a deeper connection forged through laughter, tears, and a touch of magic. Their friendship, once a series of humorous clashes, had blossomed into a tale of growth, understanding, and the enduring power of an unlikely bond.